Hey y'all. Hey y'all. It's Thankful Thursday. How y'all doing today? Come on in. Y'all already know what this is. I've been telling y'all all week about what we were doing. So come on in. I'm excited about uh, this live talking about. Y'all know we still in our men's mental health month. So this series is super dope to me. I'm so excited about it. So anybody that's new to it, welcome. Please go ahead. I'm going to put this comment on here. I'm going to pin this real quick. Anybody who wants to leave a comment, grant StreamYard permission so we can see your name. But just in case you don't do it, we should still see it. So come on in. I'm going to share the live to my regular page. Y'all know how I do it. And then I'm going to I know y'all see my guest. So I'm going to share my live in a moment so that on my personal page. So I want to make sure that everybody can see it. But when y'all come in, come on, say hi so I can know you're here. So we can know you're here. All right. All right. Y'all know how we do this. Don't come in here acting brand new. No, acting like this. Okay. And I'm just letting y'all come in before I start because y'all know y'all always come in and you don't know what's going on. So all right, I posted. Okay, so now, and I tagged you. So it's live from my personal page and yours as well.
All right, thank you.
No problem. So I know y'all probably like, who that? Hello, Max. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. And let's go. Let's go. Okay, so I just don't know why that's not clearing out for me. Hold on. Delete. Okay, it should be good. Okay, y'all. I'm excited about this topic today. I definitely I'm gonna give some background. I have y'all know I started talking about mental health issues because I felt a need, especially once Corona started. And I said that I know I talk about issues for all people. There's no gender, there's no age. It's for everybody. I believe we all need to be more intact and understand that our mentality really dictates every part of our life. Well, gentlemen that would say privately to me, hi Tori, I had a few gentlemen that would say privately to me like, oh well, that's that girl stuff, you talking about women stuff, and I used to say, no, I don't agree. However, I heard y'all, and so I wanted to make sure that I gave y'all own time and that we talked about issues, and it wasn't just me talking. I want to make sure that we had male perspectives as well. So I said no better thing than to get some male psychiatrists. I said the words wrong. So help me out. Not psychologists or counselors. Some of them might be psychiatrists too. But anyway, men that deal with mental health in the mental health field. And last week was my first week, and we had Jared Washington came on, and he kicked the conversation off, and it was amazing. I really think that we did good groundwork in, and so. This week, you see I have a guest on here. His name is Ernest Benson. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for being here, Ernest. Because people don't have to be nice and they don't have to give you their time and grace you with their presence. So I'm super excited about him being here. Let me give y'all a little bit of background about him. He is the LPC. He's the founder of Infinite Life Counseling, LLC. And they provide counseling services to children, adolescents, families, just adults who've experienced trauma and difficult situations, which we all have, right? And whose life have become difficult to manage. And, he creates an atmosphere where we can be transparent and learn. He's had over 20 years of experience in the mental health field from being in all different type of atmospheres. So he's well versed. And the goal is to create new habits, making everybody's future better. So, without further ado, Ernest, welcome, and thank you for coming on. I just want to tell everybody what our topic is so they know what's what. And just in case y'all didn't see the flyer, but Our topic is, does it make a man soft or weak for talking about past wounds or emotions? And I thought this was a good topic because I think that, again, that whole idea with men, if we talk about these things, that's going to be, I can't handle myself, or I'm soft, or maybe I want to say that men don't have emotions. So, Ernest, I'm going to give you the floor. Talk to us.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for allowing me to come and talk and share, because it is very important that we talk about these issues. As African American people, we have a lot of myths and stigmas that we have to overcome.
Yes.
And as African American men, we don't have that always have that safety, that spot of safety where we feel comfortable talking about real issues. So for me, this matter is very, very critical, because I spent a lot of time working in a hospital. So in a hospital, you when you see them, finally, they're at that breaking point where the depression is taking over, their conditions have taken over, they made their life unmanageable, therefore they have to seek help. So from that perspective, it's better for us to talk up front and do some preventative service, do some preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
Let's be more aware and alert up front, and then we can make the better decisions on the back end. Right.
Yes.
So that's what I like to do. So as far as the topic itself, does it make a man soft talking about his past wounds or emotions? So I want to break that. I want to start off by saying, I do a class or a group that talks about lifting weights, and building resistance, because men can understand that. We understand the physical lifting weights, because when you start out lifting weights, you have to start out with a lower weight, and then you work your way up, and then you get stronger, and then as you get stronger, then you go to a higher weight, and then you get bigger, and then you get more strength, because you build resistance in the weights. Understanding that your brain is the biggest muscle in your body. Understanding your emotions, being able to be emotionally intelligent, gives you that same type of resistance and that same type of strength. So it doesn't make you weak, it only makes you strong. Yeah. But understanding the vulnerability makes you afraid, it's uncomfortable. And a lot of times we have to get uncomfortable to move forward and to heal. So that's what the discussion is, and that's what prevents a lot of men from seeking help. That's what prevents a lot of men from coming in and saying, like, I need help. Because look at yourself in the mirror and really be honest with yourself and say, I'm messed up. I'm really tore up. And once you could do that, then we can heal. But until you do that, then you find yourself like finding other means and other things to do, or other ways and other things that you may do to make yourself feel better, in opposed to looking for the truth and seeking the truth.
That's good. You brought up some good points already. You came out the gate with some good points about, first of all, I love that you have this group that you do, because we always talk about a lot of different methods. You don't have to be one way, right? And so knowing that men have that, let's just talk about the weightlifting. So and that's good, being able to connect that way, and to have something to pull it back to, so that there's understanding. But definitely the idea that if you don't acknowledge, and I know the first live this month I did was about accountability, because you're not able and not willing to look inward, this conversation can't even happen, because then you'll start to get to the point where you're pointing fingers and say, oh, they need to get better, or they need to work out this. Cannot apply it to yourself, then you're losing out on some of the things. And so making sure that we're honest and being okay with the idea that me looking at myself doesn't mean I'm a failure. It doesn't mean that I'm less than. It doesn't mean I'm broke.
It doesn't mean you're broken. And that's the key. It doesn't mean you're broke. Like, we all resilient. We are all resilient. And through our experiences and the things that we know, we're able to move forward and put things behind us and keep pushing and keep on working and keep on accomplishing.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when you get to the point where your skill set ran out and you don't have that next level of skill? What do you do then? And I say that because let me tell you, it was crazy. I went to a couple of weeks, my back went out, so I had to go to the chiropractor. And I was watching a video at the chiropractor, and they said when you have a problem with your dental, you have dental problems, your teeth fall out.
Yeah.
We said when you have back problems, your back goes out.
Mm.
It's the same thing with mental health. Like when you have mental health problems,
yeah,
you go to another level. You have a
whole another level.
You end up in the hospital. You end up broken down. You end up in a place.
Yeah.
You might not even never ever thought that you could be in that place.
Mm-hmm.
So then you left to do nothing but rebuild. So that was interesting in terms of your teeth fall out, your back go out. What happened with your brain?
Mental health. Yeah.
What happened with your brain?
That's what it is. And can I just say one other thing to that?
Yes.
Especially, I think you'll agree, it doesn't look the same for everybody. No. Just because somebody running down the street naked, that's not the only mental health issue. No. There are people that are isolated in their house that won't come out the house for months. That's a mental health breakdown. There are people who are so isolated in their mind and so literally just despondent and emotionally dead. That's a mental health breakdown. And there are some people that are dealing with addictions.
Some addiction.
Medicating. So
womanizing.
Huh?
Womanizing. Me and I just sleep with a bunch of women just out there having sex.
Oh, sir, you coming in fast.
Yeah,
Listen,
I see it all.
Listen, Ernest, listen, I got in trouble last week because people don't necessarily, they want to make sure that we're not beating down on men, and I don't nothing to do any of that. But I also say, listen, if you want to call a spade, hey, we can go there. But you're saying even part of the addiction is womanizing. Part of that is
the same addiction, like sex. You have sex addiction, just like you have alcohol, marijuana, cocaine. Like it's all an addiction because you're looking for that euphoric feeling, however it may happen.
Yes.
So that's real. Sex gives you all of that. So it happens to be like multiplying, and just multiple women just keeps you satisfied, and you don't really have to account to any of them per se.
It's easier because you get a payoff of the physical gratification without the commitment, without having to deal with it, and you use that to numb yourself and
numb yourself. Right.
Oh, fulfill that. I knew it was an addiction. I want you to break it down because they'll quote me and say I said it. I don't want that. I don't want to be sad to be here. You know what? Bonnie said something.
This another thing, fighting that gives us out there overly aggressive fighting. Like with kids, it comes out a lot of fighting, but with men, it's also to come out in fighting as well. Not necessarily in all different types of with relationships.
Yeah.
But it's just out there fighting your family and not interacting with them. It's easier to point your finger and blame them in opposed to looking at yourself.
Period. It's so much easier. Yeah. It's so much easier. So those are good. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. That was a good segue for that. A comment here, Bonnie said, someone said to her today, it's easier to look out the window, but harder to look in the mirror.
Exactly.
That's true.
Definitely agree with that.
That's definitely true. That's all people. That's not just men. We're not picking on y'all. Like this is literally.
No, we're not picking on men at all. We're being honest about conditions and mental health.
Absolutely, and that's what the point is for us to get down into some of these. So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna dive in, y'all. I'm gonna dive in.
Dive in.
Okay, so this doesn't start as adulthood, right? Let's talk about it. Like this type of stuff, these thought processes about past. See, because the thing is sometimes people they don't want to address certain things. But let's go. Let me back up. Sorry, I want to go too far. This is myself going too far. Most people are in denial that they have something that they need to address. And so they don't know how they're coming off, right? They think they're hiding it good, but the whole room can see it, right? It's showing off this, whatever. Okay, so you got this issue, you got this thing. Okay, you were first talking about accountability because I don't know why I'm the way I am. And as you know, one of the first things that you're going to talk about is Let's talk about your childhood. Because now we got to figure out where these constructions happen. How is your foundation built? Like what went on to put you in a place where you didn't feel safe at a point, or what happened? And so that's why we wanted to talk about, does it make you soft for talking about past wounds? So let's talk about that. Let's not even address men. Let's address boys. And what happens at a young age that keeps them from talking about things that happened to them that might have hurt them or have affected them. I'm gonna put that on the thing. Let's talk about that.
We talk about boys, and let's say kids in general. Not necessarily just boys. Well, first, let's talk about boys. Okay. Just like you and Jerry said last week, that you grew up with the myth like boys don't cry. Mm-hmm. Suck it up. Mm-mm. It teaches you how to blunt or stunt your emotions, just like shun your emotions. Mm-hmm. So if you grow up trying not to feel emotions, then you grow up not really being able to be complete, because your emotions you really can't control. They're gonna happen and they're gonna come. Mm-hmm. You know, so as a kid, you just say you get a spanking or you fall and you crying, and then everybody's like, suck it up. Boys don't cry. You know, so you gotta. So just think, after 20 years later, now you swole.
Yeah.
So I'm never gonna cry. I'm not gonna let my emotions come out. So you build this resistance and you build this tension just because you feel a little sad, or you feel a tear about to fall.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's on the male side. But as far as kids alone, there are things that happen in the home that we don't talk about. So what happens in the house stays in the house.
Come on.
You know,
especially in the Black community, right?
Huh?
Especially in the Black community, right?
Especially in the Black community, you know. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that we consider. What is trauma? What do you say is trauma? What do you call trauma? Let's talk about that.
Me?
Yes.
My definition of trauma? Okay. My definition of trauma is anything that has caused harm to you. And when I say harm, it doesn't have to be this big situation. I think that trauma can come in the form of negligence, intentional or unintentional.
Oh, unintentional. Exactly.
Listen, I've been at that.
I got you.
You can tell I had the right answer. Yeah, I had to figure it out because I didn't know. Let me be honest. It was a lot for me to hear that. I battled with the idea that my problems were not big enough because they were not a huge trauma. Like if it wasn't this big thing.
It wasn't a big thing.
I didn't feel like that. I didn't have the right to feel like I went through something. But to realize trauma is literally a negligence. Of anything, huh? What'd you say?
Being kicked out of the home. Your home, yeah.
Yes. Any of those things.
In a car accident, walking to school, having a fight every day to get home.
That's trauma. That's trauma. All of it's trauma.
But in the urban community, we live these things, and it's every day for us.
Every day, and it creates PTSD in us. It does. It creates this idea
of.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I was listening to you.
I thought you were about to say something. But no, I'm just wanted to finish that thought. Like I've heard someone say this, and it resonated with me so much that the fact that we are just descendants. Let's go there. The fact that we're descendants of slavery and we deal with racism every single day.
Right.
That's not normal.
That's not normal.
I say it's not normal. It's not something we should not have to think about that every day, but we do. Okay. On top of that, living in urban communities where you have certain things, like you said, the fighting, where you have shooting sometimes, especially when you're in all of that we act like it's normal. Even in Chicago here, you know, they wanted to call us Chirac. And they said that they did a study saying that some of the kids in the neighborhood had the same mental status of people over in Kuwait and Baghdad in the war torn countries.
It's a war zone.
It is a war zone.
It is a war zone.
Yes.
It's not statistically, it's a war zone.
It is.
But
It is.
we have grown up with that being normal, and we've grown up with that being normal for years.
Mhm.
So understanding that and knowing why it's difficult for men to come and sit down and really want to, get into talk about what's really going on. It's hard. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
One thing that I talk about is, you ever heard of felt safety? Like, you have to feel safe in a place. You have to feel comfortable talking about those things and knowing that your information is going to be safe, and he's not going to take it out there and talk about it in the street or say something to someone else or even judge me.
Yeah, that's big.
It's huge, so prior to, let's say, 2000, I'll say that just to be, significant. I understood because there were not enough Black therapists, whether female or male. There weren't enough of us. So we didn't trust taking our information to the Caucasian therapists or psychiatrists or psychologists. We didn't want the medication. So if you can't talk to them to really be trusting in them to give them information, then you can't trust the treatment. Nope. And these days, as Black therapists, a part of our job is to educate our people. We know our fight, we know our plight, we know what we struggle with, and we know what we've been dealing with for years. So, but it's still rough because it's still hard to make people get the treatment. It's hard to make people take the services. I have environments where you give away free services and people won't come.
I was just about to say that. I see a lot of free clinics now that's popping up, and this is kind of why it's important to have these conversations, because what you won't reveal, you can never heal. You can not willing to talk about, you're never going to go and seek treatment. There are people who won't go seek treatment because they don't think anything's wrong with them. Or let's go a step further. I saw someone say last year and I loved it. They said, go to therapy if you want to make sure you're having a healthy relationship with your spouse. They said, go to therapy if you want to have a healthy relationship with your children. Go to therapy if you want to make sure you're having a healthy relationship with your friends. And I loved it because what it was doing was normalizing the idea that you don't have to be broken in order to go to therapy. That literally, the definition of it is literally just getting unbiased
perspective. A neutral party who's not judging you. Yes. You can unload all of your stuff. It's going to stay right here. Yep. And you can walk away clean.
And have but a healthy release, right?
A healthy release.
Let's talk about it. I talked about it last week with Jared. Sometimes we act as though men don't have emotions. And I think it's the farthest from the truth. You do have emotions, but you don't, or you were brought up to think that you shouldn't show them. And so then what happens is sometimes the only emotion you relate to is anger. And so then because usually I see a lot of men that's super calm. And then boom, they just want to pop off. And you're like, where did that come from? And it's like this pressurizer of stuff that you push down. And now it has to come out somewhere. And you feel like you can't control it because you expected all that to be down. So it's like,
I don't necessarily think like they sit around and just kind of hold it down. I think that's the emotion they learn to express first and most often. Like, aside from women, like dudes grow up, really all we want to do is hang out, play ball, get with our girl, stuff like that. Drive the car if you got a car. If something happens that comes in opposed to that, what do? You fight. Yep. That's just natural. That's just general.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the best thing to do, but that's just how it is. So everything is calm and everything is okay until something pops off. And when something pops off, then you're used to fighting. But when you're in an intimate relationship, fighting shouldn't be the answer. Like, can you communicate? Can you talk?
Yeah.
Can we sit here and have a conversation? You really tell me how you really feel. And that's what things.
Do you shut down?
Or do you shut down? Or do you walk away? Like you tripping? I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they pushing you in a corner because you're used to fighting and used to your physical aggression.
Yep.
So those are the things, and that's when I say when it shows up, when you don't have the tools that are necessary to move forward, how do
Yes.
you handle that?
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's a communication. It's understanding the different levels of communication.
Absolutely. And when I say press it down, I do want to reiterate, it's not necessarily that they holding everything in.
Yeah.
So it, like you said, if you don't, first of all, the basic denial that I don't have emotions. You know how many men out here to this day in 2021 saying emotions and feelings, that's a woman thing. 2021, baby. People talking like that. And it's like, right. Yikes. What you, because if you still here, you 30, 20,
right.
50, 60, 70, okay, talking about that's a woman thing, talking about emotions and feelings. You are denying that you do it. You actually do feel all of those things. Those things come. The thing is, are you acknowledging when it's happening, or is this just I'm just reacting and not really realizing that these are emotions that's playing out, that your reactions are the result of feeling disappointed, the result of feeling unheard,
right,
the result of feeling rejected,
right,
the result of feeling
envious, frustration, like, and that's emotional intelligence, like making sure that you can understand. Okay, to that point, there are only 5, 6 emotions, right? I can ask somebody right now, how many emotions are there? They say 100. No. No, they're only 5, but there are different variations within each one.
Yeah.
That can bring out to like 20 or 30 a piece. So emotional intelligence is being able to sit down and say, like, are you really angry or are you just frustrated?
Yes.
Why are you frustrated? Do you feel disappointed? Are you disappointed in yourself or are you disappointed in someone else? So those are the real communications. Those are the real conversations, man, that we have. And where you can actually pinpoint. Because like a lot of my clients, I just want them, especially kids, like I want you to pinpoint exactly what you feel. You know, by the time, and it's not going to happen, it doesn't happen overnight. But our goal is to get to the 90 days to 6 months. Like I need you to be able to tell me how you feel.
Hey, I have a comment from Kiana. She said, can you please go over the 5 emotions? Can you name them if possible?
Yeah, fear.
I'm gonna write it down too. Hold on. Let me write this down. Sorry.
Yeah. You got joy.
Okay. Yep.
You have fear. You have sadness.
Okay.
Disgust. And the last one, get to sadness. Yeah. Surprise.
Okay, that's good.
I think I'm missing one though. Sad, happy.
You just said, well, you said fear, joy, sadness, disgust, and surprise.
Right. Right. Anger. And anger.
Oh, okay.
Anger. Yeah, and anger.
We forgot the most important one, right?
Yeah, it's anger. Yeah. Like I know I'm missing one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So surprise is like they make surprise 6, but it's really anger, and surprise is a whole different facet. Just like surprise will fall in the level of like a grief or something that happens, could whether be exciting or traumatic.
Got it.
So anger, fear, joy, sadness, and disgust.
Got it. That's good. That's good. And you know what? I think that like you said, I try not to throw words out that seem intimidating, but emotional intelligence is absolutely necessary. You learn it as you go along, realizing what you're feeling, pinpointing that thing, calling a thing, and then realizing, like you said, is it towards somebody else? Is it really towards me? And what am I feeling? Because most people really don't know what they're feeling.
That's the one. How it make me feel. And that's the one. How does it make me feel? Because based on my feeling, I'm gonna act and behave. I'm gonna act out based on how I feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why I do.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Keep on.
Go ahead. No. I was gonna say, based on how I feel is how I'm gonna respond and how I'm gonna act. And even so, to the point, I may know that I'm about to lose it and do something I shouldn't do. But you've given me the pass to do it. You made me feel like this. I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. When you say you made me feel like that, let's unpack that a little bit, because
let's unpack it.
That's 2 ways, right? Because That's either one, people not having boundaries, and let me not go to boundaries right now. That's a whole nother
We'll
conversation.
talk about accountability. We talk about accountability.
Personal
Because I'm
accountability.
point my finger at you.
Yes.
At me.
That's exactly. Yep.
That's what I'm going to. It's easy to point my finger at you, like you shouldn't have did such and such.
Yes.
In opposed to I did such and such.
Yes.
Well, I felt this way, so this is how I responded.
And you caused that. Therefore, I don't own my action because I depended on you and say, you made me feel sad, and therefore I acted out on this way, but ignoring the fact that your feeling did not basically give you the right to act in a way that was less than, part of who you want to be, like you can control it's not this. I think the one thing I've been trying to get people to say, and this is something I say all the time, is that we are working on intentionality. We're working on figuring out what we're doing and stop acting as though everything is just a knee slap reaction and that, we can't control it, because victim mentality, you will always act as though stuff is happening to you. You can't control how you react to it. If you're able to slow it down, understand what the emotions are, even when you feel yourself going there, being able to kind of do an inner check.
You got to check yourself. You got to analyze what's going on. You got to do self-assessment all the time.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what's really necessary. And I think that these are the tools. Listen, guys, if y'all never been in therapy or anything, these are the tools that literally, this is when he was talking about having an unbiased opinion and to help you work it out, a safe place where you can go to. This is what I'm trying to get you to realize. Until you realize that you don't even know you completely, until you have somebody that's there to help you. We okay with going to the doctor if we got a headache. We okay with going to the doctor if we hurt our elbow or we get shot or whatever. I'm talking about getting shot. I ain't never really got this type of thug or nothing, but I just want relatability, right? But really, what happens is we have these injuries that happen in the form of traumas, and we pretend and keep going. And like you said, we're in an environment and society, especially in the urban community, where this is normal. That, I literally had to raise myself. I had to raise my brothers and sisters for years while my parents were strung out on drugs, that was normal. Or it was normal that I was at school and my teacher told me in third grade I was dumb and I'll never amount to anything. Anything is normal that I'm going home from school and for a whole year I get chased home because they're trying to recruit me into a gang. Not normal.
We've been abused in so many different ways and we get used to abuse. So we gotta start standing up for ourselves.
Yes.
Like we gotta take our own personal stand. Like, I'm gonna do the best thing for me. Just like you said before, he's like, you're gonna go to the therapist for your wife, you're gonna go to the therapist for your kids, you're gonna go to the therapist for your friends.
Yep.
Like, one thing, like, you gotta be kind to you. You gotta be kind and respect you. And that's something that you have to learn. It's not always for everybody else because we get used to doing things for other people. You gotta learn how to do things for us.
That part.
Yeah, that part. And I honestly, look, if we want to do a chronological age, I don't even think your thought process gets there to like mid-30s.
Ooh, you said mid-30s. I keep hearing about mid-30s. I've heard people say I don't think men and women should get married into their mid-30s, because they not even really know who they are yet.
Yeah, because in terms of development, like, you just moved out of your parents' house. Well, I'm gonna say that typically, because now people might live their parents' house until they're 30, but that's different. That's different. But between 20 to 30 is when you're really trying to define you as an adult. How do I take care of myself? What type of career do I have? Like, what's my job? How I make money? What do I do? And once you get that figured out, then you'll be better suited to have a mate and be productive. What happens a lot of times in relationships is that I'm tying my happiness to you. Yeah. As long as I make you happy, then I should be happy.
Yeah.
But then when I give you everything that you say you want and you still not happy, then is that my fault? Or you feel like it's your fault because you're going to internalize that, and it's going to create strife.
Can I put a pin in that? Because you said some stuff. You said you laid a lot out. See, I have to stop you sometimes because you lay a lot out. Y'all be having weighty sentences, right? Your sentence was so weighty. But I got it all, and it's good. I want to come back because people they like to talk about relationships. Okay. And so and because I definitely have women on here. But let's talk about that tying yourself, especially when you're in a relationship or when you have a family. I see a lot of people have I don't want to use the word. Okay, Paris, let me back up off of what I was.
Slow down.
I know, because I was about to throw some terms at y'all. No, I'm going to say, I like how you said it. They tie their happiness or their contentment,
Right,
or satisfaction to their mate, because as a society, we have been conditioned to believe you get married so you can be happy and share your life with somebody. And now some kind of way you tie your, if you are still not feeling internal joy, internal peace,
right,
some kind of way is assigned to something with that person.
right.
And you get to a point where you're not really realizing that before that person was there was a part of you. I hate when I hear people say that person completes me. I think it's completely wrong. Sorry, not sorry. Don't feel like it. It's not true. That is not how it's supposed to go. What you can say is, I believe the person I'm with perfectly complements me, and I perfectly complement them, because we should walk into a relationship both being complete. And although we're both works in progress, right?
Right.
That I don't, because see, what the problem is you'll bring people into this thought process that if I never get married, I'm always an incomplete half person. And so what the problem with that is the thought process that you're not whole or can't be whole in yourself, that you can't work on you, and you assign part of your happiness to that other person.
Right. I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
I'm trying to break that down because I think that I see a lot of people, if they're single, it's like you got a disease or something, and it becomes down. You have people that if they're not married by a certain age, they literally have a complex that they're building,
Right.
Not having somebody, and maybe I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not this,
Right.
And that's when you see some of the what's that called, the womanizing, or even not just womanizing, people out here being casual with these relationships because they're not feeling fulfilled, and therefore I'm upset that I see everybody vacation.
Right, everybody else happy. They got somebody. Well, I don't have nobody. Yeah.
Or the illusion.
The illusion. Right.
Come on, we all know about that. The
illusion.
The illusion of it, the idea that you missing out on this party, that the grass is green on the other side. Right. And now you have somebody that's not even living because they're waiting and they're upset and they feel less than. And so when you said to tie their feelings of all that stuff to another person, that's good.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that idea that we have to talk about that. Yes, you come into a union with a person, but you're still. I heard somebody say this: you're still responsible for your healing. You're still responsible
for your happiness.
Yeah.
You're responsible for your happiness. I can make you feel happy and joyful, but your inner happiness has to come from you.
Period.
Period. So that's one thing, and that's a reality. And those are conversations that you can have, but you have to be at peace with you and know who you are to have the conversation.
Well, and I'm going to go a little bit of a tangent. You need to be at peace with yourself before you can have those conversations. However, I feel like sometimes that's where the trauma comes. Well, not trauma. Let me use the word right. Let me get the right word. Sometimes that's why it gets really rocky. Because like people say, when you first go to therapy, sometimes it's gonna feel like it's bad at first, and then it's gonna go better.
Yeah.
And the reason I think it is because you're starting to talk about stuff. You're starting to unearth stuff that you never have done before.
Right.
Not on this level. And so it's going to be uncomfortable at first. You're not going to be used to it. And if you're not really ready, especially people that's not ready, right? Sometimes people go to therapy because they had an addiction and they court ordered. Some people go to therapy because it's marriage counseling, because, so-and-so said, if you don't do it, I'm not going to be with you sometime. I mean, let's be honest.
All type of ways that they can bring. Yeah, they bring them in.
Absolutely. Right. Some people are pushed to therapy, and so they're not necessarily ready when they come in, right? Come in, or either you got people that openly and willingly walk in, but they still don't really know what they signed up for, right? Or, and so then they have this immediate like anxiety, this immediate like, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this is not right. This is not comfortable. I don't like this. And just the unearthing of things. And even if you don't have inner peace yet, maybe digging up those conversations where someone's starting to say, hey, I assigned, that's what I call it. Assigned my happiness and my peace to this person, and they let me down. And then like, oh, wait a minute, time out.
Right.
Time out. And to actually realize it's very empowering to know that my emotions, the way I feel, how I move, is not dictated by other people. I don't know about anybody else, but that's empowering to me.
Right. It should be liberating and make sure that everybody knows that they're accountable for their own.
Yeah.
But although it's empowering, it's also still kind of crippling, because you are still attached to that person. So how do you not be accountable for their happiness at the same time? Because in a relationship, like, it is going to be both people. There's some things that you're going to have to do that's going to make them happy, and they're going to do some things that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you see your person and internally they're not happy, how does that make you feel?
Well, you should be concerned.
You got to be concerned.
And if you're a good person, not good, let me try not to assign these words.
Your genuine care for that person.
Yes, your genuine care for that person. Help me out, sir.
Yes.
Your genuine care for that person should lead you to look at yourself and say, that's normal. That's normal. Yourself and say, okay, what did I do? What piece did I make? Where am I not compensating for what they had expectations? And that's the healthy part. That's not the bad part.
Right.
I believe the next part of it, though, is the communication of it, right? Is to be able to, hopefully, that you built this foundation, that you, it's not always true, right? But this foundation where we can talk about how we're feeling and have these conversations, and be able to open. I mean, I think we all just witnessed, right, in the media last year with the Red Table Talk with Jada.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about that and all this stuff. And one of the things I love about it was just the conversation, and whatever people feel, their personal beliefs and feelings. One of the things I took away from it that I loved was the transparency. And they talked about how, I think Jada said something I loved. She said, I was not happy, and I assigned that to him.
Right.
And she said that when he would ask me why I wasn't happy, I couldn't tell him anything, and I would just get upset, and I would shut down, and then I would name stuff that had nothing to do with it. No, she said, so it was some work I had to do.
Right.
And so it put him in a situation, and it put us in a situation where at points we didn't talk and we couldn't say anything, because now I feel like, our relationship was at breakdown, but it was a breakdown because I was at breakdown.
I was in a breakdown. Exactly. And that's the thing, right? Yeah. Because it's a joint thing, So like if I'm breaking down, like, stuff around gonna break down.
Absolutely.
And that's the scary part. And as dudes, we got to really understand the responsibility in all of that.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to come into it healthy, as healthy as possible. You know,
Yeah.
so it's really imperative, man, that you do the work on you. You know,
Yeah.
have a look. You know, get over the thoughts and the fear. Like, I don't want to talk, or I don't need to talk. You know, I don't like to talk. I get it. That's power and vulnerability. You know, accepting your vulnerability and recognizing that you need to make some changes, man. That's where the healing comes. You know,
Yes.
it is uncomfortable though. But
Yeah.
as long as you can find, hopefully you can find somebody that you will feel safe and you'll be able to talk to and comfortable. You know, like my man Jared, like Jared and I, man, are in the association, man, of Black male therapists, like 50 Black male therapists.
That's so dope.
Yes, it really is. The conversation that we just have on a clinical level, just talking about stuff, talking about our communities, seeking guidance for different things that we're trying to achieve and different things that's trying to go on. It's beyond empowering. You know, I'll try to look for a word. Like, it's really beyond empowering. Like, you know, looks like we're on the cutting edge of something undescribable. You know, so I'm just waiting, man. So as a clinician, man, I'm very excited, man. I love the work that I do. You know, I love my community. Work with kids, families, and individuals, man. Like, I love it. No, I've transitioned, man, over years. So I mean, I'm certified as a life coach for adolescents. I'm a community support specialist. I'm a licensed professional counselor. Like, I've worked this whole thing 20 years. You know, so I come from a real place. And for me, I benefited because there have been a lack of fathers in homes like years ago. So I mean, I was able to mentor kids. I'm able to go in their house and they listen to me. We just gonna hang out, man. Like, what's really going on? Like, talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem? You know, so but that's just my plight, you know, and I pride myself on being a man. Proud Black man, proud African American, you know. I raised my kids, man. My kids are solid, and everything I do is for them, you know. So you know, just don't be afraid to open up, man, and be afraid. Learn how to accept that space and know that you're going to be better on the other side. Yeah, and that's maturity. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes us to mature. We all mature at different levels and at different times. You know, but we got to get there. And know there's a brother on the other side waiting on you to help you out. You know,
that part. You don't have to do this thing alone.
You ain't got to
right?
do that.
Because like that, you said a lot of stuff you packed in there. Again, you be doing this packing us. I'm packing for y'all. You know, vulnerability. It doesn't always feel good. It is necessary, and you have to learn how to embrace it. You have to have a safe place. You know, it's unacceptable for you. Let me not use the word unacceptable, but I will say this. You are not living your whole life. You're not being a full, complete person if everything you do is so tightly clenched, held aside. I don't talk to, you know, now everybody, what's the mantras? No new friends. I don't talk to nobody. I don't talk to anybody who I ain't been with for 30 years. And then he deceitful. So now I cut him off. I don't talk to nobody. It's just me and my dog. And I be like, okay. And you hear the hurt and you hear the pain. And as I'm not making fun of it, I'm saying this is that moment where we say, yes, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not going to be something that's a thing you're going to wake up and say, let me call somebody and tell them about when my mama didn't come home for 10 nights straight. Let me tell somebody about how that made me feel. Right. Let me tell somebody that I'm still really not over how they made me feel in high school and they talked about my weight and this and that. Let me talk to somebody about that. Right. That's going to be something you're going to normally want to do. And you're going to feel like if you try to do that you're weak. And and I'm going to tell you as a woman, I don't even have to as a man, as a woman, I feel vulnerability equal weakness. Because I was this alpha woman, right? I had to the woman of the year. Like I had to be strong my whole life. And so, and that was because of trauma, right? And so because of that, I literally didn't feel comfortable being vulnerable. I didn't like it. I didn't cry. I didn't realize I didn't really cry for like a year, a couple years of my life. Like I just wouldn't allow myself to really go there because I was like, what's crying gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this as a woman. So
Right.
I had to really work those things out because guess what? It was a defense mechanism to certain things in my life, right? Survival tactics.
Right.
And sometimes we are in survival mode because of our past.
Right.
And we just never come out of it. And we don't know how to move to the next level.
Right.
Let the guards down, deconstructing the walls,
Right.
thing down and understanding that as uncomfortable as it is, it's necessary.
It's necessary. You know, it's interesting you say that, man, because like you would never believe how and what I was at 25, 30. You know, I was very verbally aggressive. Like it was certain things that you just couldn't say to me. Like I'm gonna just let you have it. Like yeah. You know, but that's who I was, and that's how I grew up, and that's what allowed me to make it through certain arenas and certain areas, and got me on the other side. But
survival.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a war zone.
That harsh thing.
I grew up in a war zone, so you know, but I got on the other side. So I guess I'm 35, maybe 40. Like I'm holding on to a lot of stuff, man, that I just don't need. Like it ain't never happened. Like I'm surviving. I'm good. I'm breathing good. Like I had to let some stuff go, you know. And that's just when, you know, saying I started doing the work on me, and that's just my, you know. So I mean, we all have it, you know. We all have those walks. But we did all come through the concrete jungle too, you know. So
that's what I'm saying, and this is where people don't get it. Is that, and this is how somebody described it to me that was so good. I just pass on to y'all what I hear that I love that sticks. Is that there were things, there was armor you put on to survive a rough season,
right?
Necessary, that was absolutely necessary for you to get in. You know, some of the moments I went through my life, if I did not have the toughness that I had, the mental, I would have folded. I would not be where I'm at.
Right.
And okay, even though that's true,
right,
what happens when you're finally in a place where you're starting to want to be around other people and interact with them, and you're realizing that you're still having these things that are that we start.
They're affecting you.
Yeah, affecting you, but you don't even realize it because that's what we start saying. Oh, this is my personality. This is who I am. This is who I am. I'm real. Right. I'm real. I hate that real stuff, right? I'm real. I'm keeping it real. This is how I do. This is how I am. I grew up like this. I'm not about to change it. And so, or that's just how I am. And unfortunately, we attribute the survival tactics that we learned to get through years and years, sometimes decades of our lives, to just that's how we are. And I just want
your identity. That becomes you. That becomes your identity in your mind. And that's that internalizing all that negative.
Yes.
It's from you, it's from other people, it's from the community, it's how you grew up, you know, and those are the traumatic things that need to be unpacked. You know, how did I know you would listen to your mom get beat every night? You couldn't sleep. So, you know, you up all night listening, trying to make sure she all right after you just finally leave the house and, you know, see if she needs to go to the hospital before you go to school.
And that's your norm
every day.
Sheesh.
So that's real stuff. So, I mean, you know, you don't, but the beauty, and I'm gonna tell you about the brain, like God's computer.
Yes. Come on, sir.
It has the ability to repress memories, fold it back, put that thing in the Rolodex, and it's not a problem. You can keep pushing.
Yeah.
But 20 years later, you might be in an accident. Somebody may die. Then once that happens, your emotions are flooded. And then you're in a place, man, where you really can't put it together.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what happens in the hospital. That's what I see. That's when people come around, and that's when they start trying to heal because they don't know how to put it back together. That's when they stuck in the room crying, the lights off.
Yeah.
You know that. You know, so it's real, and these are real situations, man. And our brains are remarkable in terms of what they do.
Amazing.
Amazing. And
I'm taking a psychology class where we're studying the brain, and I'm like, wow, this is real scientific because I came from engineering. Like, wow, we're really going in here, and I understand because you need to understand the brain and what it's
your brain. Yeah.
We've
been dealing with our emotions, man, since we were kids, since we were little. You know, but have we really sat to really figure them out and understand how I operate? What are my triggers? What are the things that really set me off? And what are the things that make me pull away and just shut down?
And you know what? I love that. And that's something I heard sorry, I'm going to always talk about what I hear because it's great. I heard somebody say, I made a decision to become a student of myself. And I'm like, that's amazing. That's good. That's necessary. So many people walk around, and it's just how I am. It's just how I am. This is what I've been through. I've always been like this. This is how my papa was. This is how my daddy did it. I'm doing it because I know this. And you're literally just rehearsing what you've seen or doing how you've always done it, and never really dug into why you do what you do. Why? What are the things that, like, a lot of times you hear people say, especially if you're in group therapy, you'll hear people say they'll come into like an epiphany moment, like something really impacted them, and they'll be like, I never knew that impacted me. You know why? Because you brought it, you pushed it, you washed it out, you hid it, you didn't.
It kept it pushing. Yeah.
And that's a real thing. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about what we're doing. I'm excited because conversation. Why do you think Clubhouse is so popular? Conversations
are very important.
It has the ability to transform people's thinking. It has the ability to give people a different perspective other than their own. And so that's why I love to have conversations. I used to hear people tell me I talk too much and I do too much. And I started to realize that my willingness to communicate sometimes will open up a different perspective. And people can say, you know what? I never thought of it that way. Right. I never looked at it that way. And something you said might have been the thing that made me say, you know what, let me go talk about this. Because let's be clear, Ernest, you tell me if I'm telling a lie, what I'm about to say. Your mental or your mentality, your mental health, it dictates your home life.
Yeah.
It dictates your career and your work life.
Yes.
It dictates your physical health.
Yeah.
It dictates your spiritual life.
Spiritual life, yeah.
And ultimately, even your financial wherewithal.
Right.
Okay.
I'm glad you say that, because one thing, that's mental health. Mental health is being able to manage your spiritual, your financial, your work, your family, all of that without being stressed out and overwhelmed. That's positive mental health. That's what it is.
Yes.
Because people confuse mental illness and mental health.
I know.
And mental health is exactly what you just said.
And that's why I wanted to spill it out, because I think people, like you said, when you start talking about mental health, people start saying, oh, that's for crazy people. They go, they're not right. But like you said, by the time you see the hospital, there's something that broke. And what I'm saying is that it's the same way if you have diabetes and you don't go until it's something bad and you got to get your leg cut off. You're not managing it. You so bad that it's just to the point where now we got to just cut it off.
Right.
What I'm saying is that we all have a brain. I don't care who you are. You have a brain. You have a soul. You have emotions. You have feelings. And this big computer in your head, this brain is the center of everything. And so when you say, well, I don't deal with stuff like that, you are not aware. You're not self-aware that we all deal with stuff. And honestly, even if you think this stuff is not affecting you, it's affecting every relationship. It's affecting your home life. It's affecting your physical body.
Your physical body.
About that, people don't want to be honest about you dealing with stress and dealing with issues like that. You're literally, a lot of times, I see people manifesting physically what they won't handle mentally and emotionally.
Well, disease comes from not really taking care of your mental health, not really taking care of your health, period. You know, like I ask people a lot of times in group, like, if you had a heart disease, would you take your medication? You say yes. If you had diabetes, would you take your medication? Yeah, every day. So because you have a mental illness, then you refuse to take the medication.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, they refuse to accept the diagnosis. They
They
refuse to believe
Yep.
there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with my mind. And unfortunately, man, there are mental illness. Like, it's nothing that I can do. There's nothing that you can change from schizophrenia. It's nothing that you can change with bipolar disorder. Those things, you're gonna have to take the medication and learn how to manage your life and talk to a doctor on a consistent basis.
And
that's mental illness.
And it's okay. It's just if you have AIDS or
it's just like heart disease, diabetes.
Any of those things they're manageable. It's not
manageable. Right.
You can now go, but you cannot pretend you don't have it, because pretending you don't have it and not getting treatment is going to be a fast.
It's gonna be a downhill. You're gonna go down here real quick. You're gonna be out there going to jail. You're gonna get locked up.
Absolutely.
It depends on what it is. Not everything, but bipolar disorder, a lot of times, because they vacillate. And I really try not to be the nerd, man. I really be trying to be, saying.
Well, listen, no, you're not the nerd, man. I love it. Listen, I can go deep into this. You see how excited I get.
Because they're moved
things enough, and you know what you're seeing, and you just think you're passionate, or you just think that you are. I'm chill all the time. I just don't, and you don't realize that you're vacillating between these two uppers and lowers. And I've been looking like, okay.
Just because she dropped the food, man, don't mean you go out and just throw all the food outside.
Right, and then again, like you said, hey, I had to do this because this, and not realizing or recognizing and being able to sit back and say this is something else to it. So you know what, this has been amazing. I think we could talk and talk and talk. I didn't realize an hour. That's okay, y'all. That's okay, because it flowed, and when it flows, it flows. Right. So hold on. I think I didn't put up 2 comments. I just want to make sure people know. Kiana said something a while ago. She said people sure find a way to control their emotions at work so they can stay employed. And you know why? And that's important, because sometimes people say, well, I hate when people do this. I don't have a problem. They especially say this with addiction. I don't have a problem. I'll go to work every day.
Right.
Sir or ma'am. That is not true.
That don't mean you have a problem.
Does not mean that you don't have a problem.
The main one is like, I don't have a problem. I can stop when I want to.
Of course. You know that. I do this because I had somebody tell me I do this because I like to do it. I said every single day, and if you don't do it, you have a fit. Yeah, but it's only because I like to do it. Okay.
Right. What happens when you don't? Go for a week.
They found that out, right? Tori said we have to be kind to ourselves and exhibit self-love.
Exactly.
So true. That's the biggest part I notice a lot too. We don't have enough self-compassion.
Right. Self-compassion.
And we literally we don't give ourselves grace. So like, okay. And that's why I wanted to talk about it as men. Do we feel this weak when you talk about these wounds and emotions? Because I feel like what I've heard is, man, I'm not about to talk about that soft stuff. I'm a man. Pounding. Y'all know y'all pounding on the chest. I'm a man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm good. I'm not going to do that. And it's like, you don't give yourself compassion. Guess you didn't heal from that. There's a wound, and it's gaping, and it's showing in every part of your life, and you're in denial.
I think like what happened with George Floyd, in situations where it's extreme, and then there's an outpouring of everybody, and then it's okay to talk about it at that time. Mm-hmm. Even with the Clubhouse, like you said, Clubhouse, like, because everybody has been dying for social interaction, been stuck at home. So that was the avenue for everybody to get in and just talk and filter their feelings and what's really going on and emote. Yeah. So we men are just conditioned.
Yeah, condition is the word.
Conditioned to be careful and to be not out there just putting emotions out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's scary and it's vulnerable, but there is power in your vulnerability.
There's power in your vulnerability. And if there's no better way to end this, there is power in your vulnerability. That is, that's going to be our end phrase of the night. Mr. Benson, you have graced us with your presence. This has been an amazing conversation. I really think there were so many good points that came out. I believe we helped somebody. I know we have.
I think so.
I think that there, a lot of people catch the replay sometimes too, because
Right.
we off of work and stuff. So I know the replay will be watched. Anybody who's still on, please tag people in here. Come on, you know it's a good conversation. Share this on your social media. Share it in your inboxes with people and say, hey, check this out. You know, women, if you're on here, go ahead and share with the men that's in your life. Men, if you're on here, come on. I know y'all doing something. Put it on while you're going cooking. Put it on while you know, having to work, whatever. Listen to it. I'm telling you, it's something in here for everybody. You don't have to always listen to me, but you know, listen to Mr. Benson. He, you know, he gonna tell you how a TI is.
Yeah.
And I think that you know, this was definitely a conversation that opened some stuff up, and you know, one conversation at a time, realizing that you know it's not necessarily easy, but I believe it's definitely necessary. So
It's necessary. And I say thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to come.
absolutely, no, I think this was great. I really appreciate it, and I really think it's timely, very timely as a nation is trying to heal. Very timely as you know us coming off of the Black Lives Matter, the George Floyd, the Breonna Taylor, all the stuff that's happening, and those feelings, and just being able to start to deal with some of our stuff, because even if all that stuff went away, we still have to be honest with, are we okay?
We still got to we still have to go back and take care of our community. It's some stuff in the community that we gotta correct, and we can't wait for nobody else to correct. We gotta correct.
Come on, sir. I didn't want to go there.
Hey, we got to. Yeah. I'm 100%. Like I'm straight up. Like we gotta straighten up some stuff. Like we gotta stop a lot of this stuff in our community ourselves.
Yes, we gotta step up and realize that I am my brother's keeper.
Right.
I'm my sister's keeper.
Right. If I don't keep them, if I don't do it, who gonna do it?
Who?
Who?
It's conceptualizing this thing as being too big for us all to do, and realize if all of us take a small piece of the pie, we can make it happen. We can get it better. Yes. So, man, I'm so excited. This is just the beginning of stuff. Ernest, how can people, if they want to reach out to you? I know you're based in the Georgia area. I know you provide awesome services. Say you have your company. Tell the people how they can reach out to you. And I think I'm gonna try to type it in here in your
it's www.ilifecounseling.org. That's iLife, like your iPhone, ilifecounseling.org.
Okay.
And on IG, it's the same, ilifecounseling.org, and Facebook.
All right.
There we go.
Just put it on there for you guys. ilifecounseling.org.
Right.
That's the site. It's on the Facebook like that. It's on IG like that. Check them out. You hear all this wisdom. You hear all this knowledge. And he down to earth. Like, y'all don't have to be scared. These not people. These are people. That's why representation is important. We need that we look like us. Not to say
understand us.
Understand that's been through some of this stuff. Now, listen, I know I have people listen to me, all different type of race and ethnicities, and this is not excluding anybody. But I have to speak to some of the most underrepresented people in this field not going to take care of themselves. And I have to speak to that. So don't feel some kind of way about that. I need to make sure that we're speaking to us, and that these are topics and conversations we need to have. And you need to understand that you're not going in and saying something to somebody that doesn't understand you. That's the biggest complaint I hear. They're not going to understand what I go through. They're not going to understand how I live, all this other stuff. And so to know that you're doing that, if y'all in Georgia, get at him. If you're not, still check his website out. I'm sure he has some type of services. All this wisdom, don't let it go to waste.
I'm here. Use me.
Huh?
Okay, I'm here.
That's awesome. Thank you, Ernest. And like you guys know, like I always end it off, you are enough. And I know y'all guys don't think that it applies to you, but it is. You're enough for, you're enough, and you're worth putting in the time to make sure you're okay. Like you're enough by yourself. Nobody, it's not because you're a good husband or a bad husband. It's not because you're a father or how you are at work or none of that. Just how you are, you're worth the energy to take care of yourself. You're worth it. You don't hear it enough. You guys don't say it. Your spouse might not say it. Your kids might not say it. I'm here to say you are worth it. You're worth the time. You're worth the investment. You're worth the energy to work on you. Okay. All right, y'all. And don't forget, let me see. If you want to check out my shirt, go on www, you know, it's in my little banner, www.parispjohnson.com. You know, I got a deal going on to the end of February. And I got a surprise for you guys. I got a surprise for you gentlemen too. I got some stuff for y'all to check out in a minute. So I'll post that shortly. But I think I got a promotion right now, buy one, get one free. So if you need one and you've been wanting to get one and you want to give that gift of confidence, come on. Because somebody needs to know it. Somebody needs to understand that and realize it today. And then y'all know I'm not back on here next Tuesday. So y'all have a good weekend. Please do something nice for yourself. You know how I feel about self-care. Go out and I don't care if you want a bath. It's Valentine's Day. If you got a loved one, do something nice. I heard a little birdie say that it's Mrs. Benson's birthday. Happy birthday, Mrs. Benson. Enjoy yourself. Happy birthday. I hope you had a great day. Thank you for lending your husband to me for a little bit. We could talk. I really appreciate it. I don't take that lightly. And but like Valentine's Day, come up, do something nice. Go out with your loved one. And if you don't have anybody, don't sit in the house moping. It's not about that. Do something.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. Y'all know y'all ladies got those nice candles from Bath and Body Works. Burn you a candle. Get you a glass of wine. Get your meal catered in. Do something. Do something for you. Love on yourself.
Love yourself.
Have a moment for yourself. Write, journal. I like to journal people to journal. Write something. Sit down and give yourself some music. Listen to make an ambiance. You know why? Because you're working.
Tell them, write a 1 year plan to get a man. So next Valentine's Day, you have your man. 1 year plan.
Okay, y'all heard the ladies who said a 1 year plan. Well, I guess next month I'm doing something about relations. I might have to bring it back on. Come on. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Ernest. Appreciate you again. Y'all, I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Holla at me. Oh, and if y'all watching the replay, go back, type replay on it so I can know that you're watching it. Any tag, share, comment, please, because I just want somebody to be helped. Okay. Toodles. Peace.